There we go.
Sorry. I'm here. Today is January 7th, 2015. I'm sitting here speaking with Joann Spotted Bear from the Pine Ridge Reservation. Could you, Joann, give us a brief summary of your history, your background?
Yes, first off, Imbetiki washte, Hini washte, good morning. Tokaya Tokashila Wupla Waku, Lemiacha Matolia Hemie, Chunkbe Opio Matua. My dear relatives, the way I'm speaking is always supposed to be spoken first in the original way. I am a Lakota, and we always thank the Creator first. My name is Bear Woman, and I do come from Wounded Knee. And I'm originally from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, what is known as the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I'm a descendant of the Little Bighorn, what used to be called greasy grass. Our people are the first to kill Custer. Lakota, Nakota, Dakota, Cheyenne. Some of our people, well actually I'm going to just kind of skip that and keep going. I'm also from Wounded Knee. I'm a descendant of the 1890 Wounded Knee Massacre. My family was one of the 7 to survive. They also fought in the World War I and World War II. And in 1973, during the AIM days, my grandma, she asked Russell Means to Humblecha, to Sundance, to go to Sweat or a peyote meeting, to do anything but believe in God, and that nobody is to die. And so I'm come from some of the strongest natives in Indian country of the Lakota Nation.
So you are one of the, your family is a survivor of the Custer and those type of wars?
Yes.
Okay. You're holding a document. Can you explain that document for us?
This document is an original treaty from Washington that is sealed and stamped and signed by the Library of Congress. This is a paper, one of their most expensive papers, with the Fort Laramie 1851 treaty on it.
What is the significance of this treaty?
This treaty is, according to Article 6, Clause 2, states that treaties are supreme law of the land of the United States Constitution, Supremacy Clause.
How did you come about this treaty?
Well, this is a unique question because it's a very important question. I'd like everybody to know. Treaties were never to be for sale, and they sold these treaties. They're selling them now, and you can get them for as little as $38, or depending on what kind of quality paper you want it on, it gets more and more expensive. Some say you go to Washington and you can get it for free. I personally, I'm a law advocate and a dignitary at the United Nations level, and in all my studies, I've never seen texts such as this for sale to anybody. I've always studied, and I've been studying for 9 years, and I've never had to buy anything. And a friend of mine, how I got this was, a friend of mine, he bought a treaty, and then he bought this treaty and he gave it to me. So this here selling treaties to Indians, in my opinion, is illegal.
The treaty, you say, states what the government or the United States is to abide by?
Yes.
What is in that treaty that you can use, or it constitutes they should be abiding by?
Okay. Well, this is very interesting. The treaties, they started in 1059 before Christ. The original treaty is the 10 Commandments of thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not something to neighbor. I don't read the Bible, excuse me. convert thy neighbor, right?
Covet.
The neighbor. And so our Indian people is we just don't go, and we're not supposed to tell a lie, and we're supposed to do the best we can to help one another. So in this treaty, as you are asking, in Article 1 here, it states that any black man, any white man, or any Indian who commits wrong is subject to the American law. That's the most important, okay, in this text. This particular treaty, from the way I understand it, is the Fort Laramie treaties. Is what they said was anything west of the Mississippi was Indian territory, and anything east of the Mississippi was to go to the government. But according to the Six Nation Treaty, that is that the government was supposed to stay in their ship and we stay in ours. However, with the United States, in exchange to use the land, were supposed to give the Indians pay them royalties and dividends to use the land. And instead they used the name, they called the land America. And from the information I'm gathering today, okay, and you know this just as well as I do, maybe not all of it, but you've seen some of my work, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Henry L. David, was it Henry L. David or Henry L. John? I forget his name at the moment, but he was murdered in, Henry L. David. He was murdered in Montana for exposing $500 billion of Indian royalties. And I have land in Montana, North Dakota, and I have oil and energy on there, and I don't even get a penny. So when I read this Henry L. David's work, I decided to take a look at that. And then in Pine Ridge, there was $2.64 billion of embezzlement. And what we're told in South Dakota is to hold the government to their words. Okay? In other words, that we let them use our land and they have to pay us. And this should have been all throughout 564 federal recognized tribes. And then they said that this government is to, that you never let them hide the truth, because they will, and they'll do anything to do it. So this particular treaty is not taught in grade school, it's not taught in high school, it's not taught in colleges, it's not taught in universities, but it is spread around the world that treaties are to be obeyed. However, the United States government went bankrupt 4 times. Okay? So the United States of America, I always call them the de facto United States of America. It goes like this. They had the revolutionary, the colonial, the civil war, the colonial war, the civil war, and then the 1933 bankruptcy. No corporation can be a country. That's like the welfare office, the food stamp office. You go to the food stamp office, and let's say they want to start a country. Can they start a country?
No.
No? You don't think so? I don't think so either.
I don't either.
I don't know.
I'm not real sure, but I'm sure you know.
Okay, so the 4-time bankrupt corporation. What usually happens with the bankrupt corporation? The bankrupt corporations have no money, so they have to get money somewhere to keep that in business. Correct?
Right.
Well, the United States of America Corporation went bankrupt, and they were given money through Great Britain. And so the Great Britain was sponsoring the United States of America, but America was using our royalties in return. Okay, oil, gas, minerals, trees, and according to the Indian story was the way that I understood it is this, and then I want to share from what I remember, to the best of my ability. They said, we're gonna take the land from the Indians for the use of our people only, meaning all the white people, and everybody else didn't matter. Okay? So today, with the 564 federal recognized tribes, what I see is I see high crimes, embezzlement. I see the death of Indian people. I see treason in federal government documents. I see deaths that are being uninvestigated by the BI, the FBI, Federal
Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the local police. I see Washington, D.C., Department of Justice, Tracy Tublu, who took an oath, solemnly swore to uphold the U.S. Constitution. He solemnly swore to uphold where in Article 6 says treaties are supreme. To protect and serve. So we are supposed to be protected and to be served on our wishes. If we don't want alcohol on our land, there should be no alcohol. If we don't want no drugs on our land, there should be no drugs. If we don't want our kids taken away, they shouldn't be taken away. The education of our people should not be taxed. The cars, everything, and that's what it says here. It says that the children are to go to school and they're to have clothes, and our people are to be fed because they took the hunting rights away from our people. They're to be housed. We're supposed to have nice homes, not be living in condemned homes like they are in Pine Ridge. And I want my people in Pine Ridge to notice, I love you and I care about you enough to say that the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is a corporation and they are a delinquent to the IRS, and that this treaty is legitimately all of ours. This is Lakota, Nakota, Dakota tribes. I'm talking to every one of you. We do not pay the high price of somebody else's embezzlement, whether it's John Steele, Brian Brewer, Dean Patton, Tom Porbear. They have no rights to come in and use this treaty for a corporation, turn around and embezzle, and then be a delinquent to the IRS. They're being paid to do a job to honor and serve the people. When they don't do it, the federal government is to come in and to, according to Article, bad man removed. Article 1, bad man removed. The U.S. Constitution, treaties are supreme law of the land. And this is where the hang-up is at the United Nations level, is if the United States cannot or will not or does not abide by their own constitution, their own treaties, then why do we have them on our land? What good are they for us? What do they have that we don't already have? The land is ours, the trees are ours, the resources are ours, the oil is ours. Everything belongs to us. And they're a guest on our land. And Obama said it. Obama said, if you're not an original Indian, then you come from someplace else. Is that right? Isn't that what he said?
Yes.
Okay. And so when we talk about the taxes, you want to read the first part of the IRS taxes, what the IRS taxes, if you don't mind, please.
Is that question number 1?
Yes.
Generally, as American citizens, individual American Indians and their businesses are subject to federal income taxation unless exempted by treaty, statute, or act of Congress.
Stop. Okay, what did I just get through saying about this treaty?
It says.
Supreme law of the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did it say about an individual? They're tax exempt, right?
Right.
And what did it say about a corporation? That corporations are taxed, right?
Right. I'm sorry. I was reading.
Okay.
But it says also tribal membership does not exempt an Indian from federal taxation.
Okay, now
That's-
let's get this right. Treaties are supreme law of the land, and the full blood is the treaty holders, the ones, the family members who signed this treaty and those who fought in the Little Bighorn. Okay, in other words, my son and I, if we signed this treaty, he's tax exempt. But because we're all family, all of us, the whole entire, let's say the whole entire Reno, we're all family, just as example. Let's say there's 2 million people and we're all family. Everybody, you're speaking for everybody in this treaty. In other words, why is Joann Spotted Bear so mad? Well, I am mad because we have 564 federal recognized tribes, all treaty nations, okay? And all of us are being screwed out of our royalties and dividends, and we have a death of a federal employee that's gone uninvestigated. We have, like myself and many others like myself, we have oil and gas and energy on our land and we're not getting paid for it. They're killing, they want to run the XL pipeline straight through the reservations and over the Missouri River. And if that water was to break, it don't matter if you were black, white, Puerto Rican, I don't care where you are from around the world. If that XL pipeline was to break, it would destroy everything in its path. And if it made it through those pipes right here in the kitchen, it would kill your sons, your daughters, and everybody in the house. Just like Sue Wallace. Sue Wallace was an employee, deceased Sue Wallace, let me get that right. Deceased Sue Wallace wanted to do horse slaughter. And when she wanted to do the horse slaughter, she was going to feed the whole entire United States horse meat. And some of those horses were contaminated horse meat because they take medicines. And some of those medicines, they'll clog you up, they'll do whatever, your bloodstream, everything. And after a while, it'll kill you. It'll give you gastritis. The Queen got gastritis and she almost died. Okay, Queen of England. And so if the Queen did not tolerate gastritis and she went to the hospital and she had to get well, what do you think is going to happen to the rest of the Indian population?
Most of them will just die because they don't have medical treatment, or the it's not at hand for them. They can't just readily go and get medical treatment because there is none.
Right. Okay, in here, we're supposed to have free health care. Okay, so the Obamacare, and this is very important. Obama, I really don't have nothing against you. I just don't like that you're using Obamacare versus the treaties. The United States government was supposed to take care of us Indians using this treaty. And today, you're saying everybody has to sign up for Obamacare. Well, why didn't you abide by these treaties back in the day versus right now where everybody has to sign up? You're obligated through what is called the Sista Q Trust account because of the birth certificates, the social security cards, the U numbers, the bank account numbers. We were supposed to be mutual in what we're doing. We're not supposed to be conquered and divided through the Enemy Act or through martial law. Because technically that martial law, when you went bankrupt in 1933 and gave everything over to the United Nations, you now got rid of yourself. And because these treaties were never ratified at the United Nations level, the United States government screwed themselves. We didn't screw you. And what am I mad about? What do I want out of this? Well, it's not an I problem, Joann Spotted Bear problem. Social Security number 504-863439. It's a United States government problem because the bottom line was you guys are supposed to give us our dividends and royalties. There should have been no condemned homes. and the health care and the education and our children should have been taken care of, not been taken away from our people and stripped of our traditional culture. And we should have been honored for what we do. There's one thing I would like to express is I would like to see you at the United Nations level on May 2015, and I would like it if you did ratify and dialogued. And the United Nations ambassadors worldwide, if you're watching this video, I would like you to be at the United Nations level, because during the climate march change, there was 1 million marchers. And that following Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is where world ambassadors flew into New York. And none of anybody invited the indigenous people on terror, where you guys spoke about terrorism, ISIS. This is terrorism on the indigenous people and our treaties that are for sale. This is very important. If we die, this United States government can call this land America, and it's legitimately not their land, period, because they're a 4-time bankrupt corporation. And because I'm from Wounded Knee, and I am a descendant of the Little Bighorn, I am, by all rights, through the grandmothers, I am the voice of 564 federal recognized tribes on our land. I could speak and talk and sing our language. I could pray in it too. But that don't make me any better than any one of my peers, my relatives, my loved ones. It makes me equal to them. But because I have enough love for my people, I'm willing to stand up to you to tell you that what you done was wrong. I'm not going to sit behind no office and pretend like you're my best friend, because you're not. You actually hurt my people, and you hurt me. And my people by living in condemned homes with lice, mice, and cockroaches, where up to 21 families in a household. Some of our people are in wheelchairs and can't even get in the bathroom, so they have to crawl. Others have to pee on themselves. That is humiliating. And you say you're the richest country in the world. You're not even a country. You're a 4-time bankrupt corporation. So think twice. And don't be taking none of this hatred out on my people, because it's not right. What would be right is if you did your job the way you're supposed to, and had the Army, the military, the Marines, the Air Force, they have pride in dignitary, right? Pride in dignity in what they're doing. And you should have it too. But if you don't, then maybe being in office is not for you. We need people who will help and love others. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. So how is it that you have come about to stand up and advocate? And who backs you? Are you alone in this, or is there other people that stand behind you and support you?
When I started, I remember when I was a little girl, my grandma, she said, our people are going to have to fight just to stay alive. And she was crying in Wounded Knee. And I climbed up on my grandma's lap and I wiped her tears with my little hands. And I said, Grandma, when I grow up, I'm going to help you and to help our people to live. Because my grandma was a peyote member, and she held that chanupa. And it was her mom and dad who survived the Wounded Knee massacre. And she said, because of the drugs and alcohol and all this, the women getting beat and the men doing whatever they want, and the children going without food and starving, we're gonna have to do something. But no one knew the answer. So I said, well, I'll help. But at the time I did not know how big this job was. And how I started was I had to sacrifice myself. I had to give up drugs and alcohol. I had to go to sweat lodges. I had to humlecha. I had to Sundance. I had to change my life around and do a 360. I had to beg God to please help me to help our people to live. I had to study. I had to learn to read and write. I have other people who help me, whether in my home or throughout the nation or around the world. Today is, I started out with my family and my relatives, and today I have world support by world leaders around the world, world ambassadors. I never ever pictured myself in my whole life ever speaking before the world at the United Nations level, where USA Today wrote me out of their newspaper, where people, they don't like what I'm saying or doing because they're probably embezzling and creating the harm against our people. And our people, we're not rich people. We're common men and women. We're not above anybody. We're just normal people who are trying to get along the best way we know how. Thank you for viewing this video. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time, and I hope that we can do another one soon. Thank you.